Welcome back, DNA Strand crew, to the newest episode of the Culture Shock here on the Dynasty DNA Podcasting Network. I'm your host, TJ Blake. You can follow me over on Twitter at FFTJBlakeDNA. And for the Culture Shock, what would it be without the cultured one? The one and only Big Culture Bob Helfert. You can follow him on Twitter at Big E Fat Bob. You know, Bob, I always give you guys nicknames. So, you've been saying I've been giving Slim nicknames. So I got one for you, the Dynasty Grinch. That's what I like to call you. So it is the season. The holiday season's getting close. It's almost upon us. So will Bob's heart grow 3 sizes for some of these players? Let's find out. Bob, you ready to talk some post week 10 here today?
Most certainly. We'll do what we can.
Okay.
I have called myself the Dynasty Wet Blanket. I think I started that out when we first started recording together. I'm like, I will be a curmudgeon and a Dynasty Wet Blanket. So if they expect any different from me, they weren't paying attention to begin with.
The curmudgeon, the Bob curmudgeon.
I'm old.
Everyone loves to hear what you have to say, Bob, and it is fun and it is entertaining and very knowledgeable. So let's just hop right into it. First topic for the Culture Shock post week 10. What are we talking?
So I don't. What is Thursday night? Why do we even put Thursday night games out? I don't think the players like it. That they're short rest. There's all this crap, and then I was like, this game was epic trash, right? Number one, my wife told me you probably ought to try and be more positive because you're getting bad Spotify reviews about positivity. I'm like, well, I can't. I said, realistically, I feel like I'm the news guy telling you how crappy the situation is. I can't help it; they're crappy. I'm just trying to give you the knowledge. So I'm just giving you the bad news. If I talk about a murder that happened down the road, it's still a murder. It's not my fault. That's what I feel like. I feel like that's what the Raiders are.
It's not my fault.
It's not my fault. I'm just reporting the news.
So let me say, though, Bob, Thursday night games, I agree with you. I think that's huge. But you really want to get into this Raiders Denver Bronco mess, I'm sure.
Yeah, a little bit for sure. Because I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, oh, the Broncos should just dog walk the Raiders. That's just how I felt about the game. Ashton Genty scores first, and of course Slim chimes in. Ashton Genty scored, and I'm like, oh well, great. Let's see how awesome he did for the rest of the week. And I didn't get the whole statistics down. Let me go back and just click on it real quick so I'm not speaking out of my mind. Where I lost it. It's right here. So he had. Ironically, I post that Jalen Naylor, after throwing the 160-yard or receiving the 162-yard pass on one pass, had more yards than Ashton Genty did have rushing all game on Thursday. I'm like, oh wow! So Genty has 60 yards on the ground and has 3 yards through the air. So a whopping 63 yards for Genty. And I'm not just going to harp on Genty because both teams played terrible. At least he made it in the end zone. Probably salvaged your week if you started Genty, which hopefully you're not, but whatever. But so I looked at it. The teams combined for a total of 293 passing yards, 158 rushing yards. Geno was sacked 6 times and threw 1 interception, and Nix was sacked 1 time and threw 2 interceptions. This was absolutely trash. Like, I don't even understand. And I know it's a division game. These guys are going to play each other tough, but there was people that were asking a lot about ooh, what should I do with Sutton? I heard a lot of people pre-week were like, oh, I think I should go get Sutton. It's like the only guy that's available. Well, sometimes the only guy that's available still isn't worth having, and it looks like Troy Franklin may be the guy that's kind of taken over, or at least he's getting more open. I don't know. And again, I'm not sure. Excuse me. I think we were talking about Nix the other day. He's just becoming this yo-yo. And thank goodness Bo Nix is at least a yo-yo, because Geno Smith he's the one of the walk the dog yo-yos, right? Except the string's done snapped and he's rolling down the street. It's bad. It's really bad. And I'm not trying to, I just don't know the direction of Vegas. Most of the time you can see direction and you can't with them. It's they needed to start all over, and they refused to just start all over. And then, with Bo Nix and stuff like that, man, it's like I want to trust Sean Payton. And yes, they still won the game. So they probably are like, hey, look, we're excited. We're still in the race. We didn't have to do too much. But Bo Nix has to figure out how to start hot, or start better. And it's like you're going to run up against a team like the Chargers or Kansas City, in your division that you can't just come back from. And I don't know. It was trash on toast, and not sex on toast, trash on toast. It was bad. Like it was, whatever container you pull out of the back of your refrigerator, you pop the top and it's all green on top. That's what I felt like the Thursday night game was. It was just disgusting.
So, Bob, and that being said, I know that you said about the Vegas Raiders and needing a direction, and I do agree with you with that. Now, let's just talk about them for a second, focus on them from a dynasty standpoint. Do you think that maybe, just maybe, this could be it for Pete Carroll? It could be one and done. Not saying maybe they fire him. Do you think maybe he just is done, or do you think that maybe he's back? Where are you at with that?
I can't. I and it's like you've waxed poetic about going and getting Bowers, and I clearly believe that Bowers is one of the top 3 tight ends. But where, who's going to throw in the ball? Who's going to be the coach? What's what? And I can't imagine that Pete Carroll stays one way or the other. He started this year out with people were like, "Oh, you're just here to set the culture, blah blah blah." And I think that the quote that I heard is like, "I win 10 games every year. That's the plan. Where I'm here to win." And Slim talked about them winning what 7 was the line or whatever. They ain't gonna win 7 games. I can't possibly see how they win 7 games.
So that being said, and I know you were all over that. You were all over Slim on that when the Dynasty DNA deep dive and we did the division breakdowns. But let me just ask you right now, sitting here today, Pete Carroll, like we talked about, this is a new regime. What do you think, though, Bob? I mean, do you think that they should stick with him at this point? I know, like you said, he's a 70-year-old guy coming in here to this team. Do you think it's worth keeping him, or do you think you would want to go a whole different direction?
Well, if you mean the rest of the year, or I mean, it's like
going into next year. Let's just go. This year's a formality. Going into
so they absolutely can't. I have no idea how they could go into next year. If they want to be serious, there's no way they could go into a rebuild with Pete Carroll. I mean, and I love Pete Carroll. He's a great coach. I was back, 5-10 years ago, my wife's like, oh, she read an article. We were going to root for Seattle. I got a whole bunch of Seattle merchandise. And it doesn't mean I just couldn't it's like, first off, don't call the freaking run on the 1-yard line with Marshawn Lynch. And that pissed me off so much, but that's a whole other story. But I can't what's going to set the stage, TJ, really? You need to have something to build on, and it can't be Ashton Genty. You know what I mean? It can't just be Brock Bowers. I mean, sure, those are 2 pieces, but they're not even remotely close to the most important pieces. We were talking about how tight ends are kind of making this resurgence because they're cheap. You know what I mean? They're not generally the focal point of your offense routinely. Now they can be, especially if you're Andy Reid and you're a very young Travis Kelce, but it's not the same. You got to have head coach and QB at least in an upward trajectory, even if it's unknown upward, right? Hey, we're going to go. And it's is Chip Kelly's the offensive coordinator? We've seen that failed experiment and it's failing now. What are we hoping for? And they kept the defensive coordinator that was their young hotshot guy from last year or whatever. Okay, so they got 1 sack this week and turned Bo Nix, who's kind of wishy-washy, over twice, and they lost. Man, I don't. It's I if Bob, it's like we talked about doing the franchise fixes, doing franchise fix shows. If Bob's in charge of the Raiders, there's no more Pete Carroll, there's no more Geno Smith. I'm trading Ashton Genty for anything I can get. I may consider trading Brock Bowers for anything I can get that's elite price tags. I got to trade Max Crosby because he's just getting. By the time we're competitive, he's not going to be a superstar anymore. and I think the same thing with Ashton Genty, and they're young guys, and Brock Bowers, they're young guys, but like I can't even fathom. I don't have a clue how long this is going to take.
Yeah, and we got some people chiming in here. Just want to help them real quick. Up 27 guy and playing his Keenan Allen and AJ Brown. You think I got this? That's going to be tough. I will say that full PPR. Good luck. I hope you get it. July says, "What's up, y'all? How you doing, July? Is Rasheed playing Denver? Worrying for championship week. I'm 9-0, about to be 10-0, so I'm just setting up for the playoffs." I mean, you can look at these matchups and you can kind of just sit there and think, trying to be one step ahead, but don't overthink it. Like right now, you're going to, even if you could, you know, like who are you going to get that's better than Rasheed Rice, right? Like, I mean, it's going to be hard to make a trade. You just got to play your best players and hope that that works out. Do you agree with that, Bob? I think so, right?
Yeah, you can't sit Rasheed Rice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's you just have to hope.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's just where the schedule falls. But I mean, he's so good, you could always get something from Rasheed Rice. He could break through. Alex asks, "Hey guys, I'm up 40 points, but my buddy I'm playing has Devonta Smith and Rondé Gadsden. Do I win or no?" That will be very close. I mean, it really depends on who does the damage for the Chargers. Is it going to be Keenan Allen or is it going to be a Rondé Gadsden? I guarantee it's going to be one of them. We'll just have to see who it is.
If the tight end premium's high, that might hurt you too.
Yeah, 100%.
If you have tight end premium.
Yeah. Yeah. So good luck, guys. Good luck to everybody,
Yeah.
and if you guys need us, we're here. You can always put comments and old videos. We'll talk to you, whatever you need. But Bob, last thing I want to say about this from a dynasty perspective, we're going to talk dynasty. You want to talk about the Broncos and the Raiders, that horrific performance. And it was, right? So let me ask you about Bo Nix. I know you're talking about Bo Nix being that yo-yo-y type guy. You call that, that's what you say. Are you worried though that, maybe you would sell too cheap? Because I think that the sophomore slump, I think could be something here with Bo Nix. It's working itself into play.
Well, generally, when you see that sophomore slump, right, it's the guys taken in the top half, right? Um, in the upper echelon of the draft, they kind of come in like Jaden Daniels this year, CJ Stroud 2 years ago. They were top 5 picks, right? So the team was playing a last place schedule the very next year. So, but they're not really playing a last place schedule with Denver because he was the 12th pick overall. And then so it's probably a middle tier schedule, but they're also in a division. The only team that they should be walking over is the Vegas Raiders, and they didn't do that. You know what I mean? That it's spooky. But maybe it's just like I don't know what's in Sean Payton's head. Maybe he's just like, hey, look, we won the game, we walk around, we'll be all right. Everybody has a trash performance every now and again. We're just going to put this on the back burner and be fine with it. Maybe that's his case. Maybe he's riding their asses 6 ways a Sunday.
Yeah. Yeah. And we know he definitely could do that. So you're saying you're not selling Bo Nix. You're not like going to be selling off. You're going to hold at least for now and hope he gets better next year or continues to elevate, because he has played pretty well at times. But like you said, boy, it's a roller coaster.
Yeah. I mean, I would, depends on the offer. And I cannot sell after this game. You know what I mean? Like there's no way, like, cause at this point you're like, dude, you were hot dog water. You know what I mean? It's like, no, I can't do it after this game. I'd have to wait. And I wouldn't be super excited about it, unless, the trajectory angles up. You know what I mean? If he finishes, QB 10 or, let's just say QB 15 or better, like the rest of the year without any like really bad dip games. Okay. I can live with that. But if there's like, a 2, a 39, not 39 because there's not that many quarterbacks, but you get my point. 32, you know what I mean? Like, or whatever. Like if he just keeps bouncing up and down, I don't want the highs unless I'm in best ball leagues. You know what I mean? I'll just, it's too, I mean, look at how games are playing out. Buffalo loses today to Miami Dolphins. Are you stupid? Like it's unpredictable. And if I have to put a guy in the lineup that I expect a smash game from because the matchup is premier and he does this, just aggravating.
Oh, yeah, and let me just say this, like, I think if I'm gonna trade Bo Nix, though, I wanna try to go up, not down. Like, I mean, I wanna try to tier up into Drake May. I wanna try to tier up into one of them type guys, right? Like, I mean, I'd rather go that direction than trying to tear down, because I think if you tear down, you're just going to be kind of where you're at right now. Like, and you have a better ceiling with Bo Nix to me than what you could with maybe some of these other guys. So if you're going to tear up, or if you're going to trade, I would tear up with Bo Nix if I'm going to move him. One last thing, I just really don't want anything to do with Denver Broncos assets, as far as like, it's just like we talk about New England kind of doing this. We talk about Green Bay kind of doing this. It's so hit or miss with some of these assets. You just don't know who's going to get what. Troy Franklin's riding a little bit of a high right now, but it's all touchdown production, right? Like, we've kind of seen that with Cortland Sutton too. Like, take away the touchdown and there's nothing going on there. So, I mean, that's just kind of the way it is. So I just want to know, do you agree with me, Bob? I'm just real not keen on picking Denver assets going into the offseason, really. I'm not really going to be targeting them. You know, a lot of people look at them like, okay, yeah, they got a solid team, Sean Payton. I really don't want many of these assets right now from a dynasty standpoint.
I think they're the team that needed to draft Colston Loveland or something like that, because I think that's what they want to do, because that's Sean Payton's MO, a big bodied guy that's either the tight end or a big bodied receiver. I mean, Marcus Colston. Remember Marcus Colston back in the day? That dude used to eat up people, and it was Sean Payton, and it was Drew Brees or whatever. And it's like, I don't know that Bo Nix is ever going to sniff Drew Brees anything, but it's like, uh, I had something. Oh, the irony of it is like I tried to trade Caleb Williams and get Bo Nix and got rejected. So
Man,
that tells you where
just think
Caleb
you could have
Williams.
got Caleb. That would have been a great move for sure.
I
I
had Caleb. I was trying to get rid of him, and
That was crazy. You're crazy, Bob. You got to keep Captain Comeback Caleb Williams there. So, all right, let's get into topic 2 here, Bob. What do you have for us?
So the Arizona Cardinals, like I love this idea that they're starting Jacoby Brissett, because I don't think that they have faith in Kyler Murray. We've talked about this a little bit. I kind of almost wanted to curveball off of it, but like, man, you did the deed. Like I like the fact that they, like, maybe they're like, hey, look, we're gonna need to have to do a little bit of a factory reset. Kyler cannot stay healthy. Kyler doesn't seem to be super interested in being the leader of men here. Let's give Jacoby Brissett a little bit of time or whatever. Then they run into the buzzsaw of a team I'm going to talk about later, the Seattle Seahawks. And man, you get 2 fumble recoveries for touchdowns. Are you serious? Like, you got to play better than that as a team. And like, target Marvin Harrison, he gets a touchdown or whatever. This is another team where I'm like, I'm not necessarily tearing it down to the bones, but they definitely got to get QB right. I don't think that the coach is that bad. I really don't. I just don't know that they got the guy to put the coach's plan into play. And he's more of a defensive coach anyway. Maybe it is the offensive coordinator. Maybe it's the division they play in. Seahawks look for real. And again, you're going to hear me talk about them here in a little bit. So, like, legitimately, like, this is a team that's, and it's like, I want to say they're building up their defense, but man, their defense gave up enough points today, even with 14 coming off of, turnovers from the offense, like, the defensive touchdowns, like, they still gave up a lot of points. It's like, man, I don't know.
So talking about the Arizona Cardinals, and we talked about, Kyler Murray. We were kind of on this early, right? And like,
Yeah.
we don't want to keep revisiting it, but I know that you and I specifically talked about this even before the season started, that we were kind of leaning that this maybe could low key happen. We kind of felt this way, but having Marvin Harrison, Bob, and I know you have your shares of him out there right now. Do you like the trajectory of what the Cardinals are doing then? Like, with the route they're going, it gives you more hope. It gives you more faith that maybe things can get better for him. Look, wide receiver 22 today, it wasn't great, but he did score a touchdown, right? But it really wasn't a good game for the Cardinals overall. But do you like this move as a Marvin Harrison owner for the Cardinals to go in this trajectory? And do you think it could get better based on that?
So, yes and no. So, number one, they absolutely cannot go back to Kyler Murray. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the no part of it. Like, if they ride out Jacob Brissett, they let Marvin Harrison, just get some PT, play well, progress, just see what he does with the timing quarterback, right? And then you realize, like, hey, look, you know, we talk about 26 picks. I don't see a guy coming out in the draft that's going to fit into this glove, right? But I like McCorkle Jones. I think that would really work out. I think if you could, you know, even if you did Kirk Cousins as a stopgap for a year, I mean, although he's looked at absolute garbage, but it's like, I mean, you're going to have to get somebody that delivers the ball on time to Marvin Harrison. It's not working with Kyler Murray. And I like Marvin Harrison, but like if they don't keep with this adjustment, right? That's when I'm like, okay, I gotta go, I gotta pivot, or hope that they move Marvin Harrison. And that doesn't happen. Like, we love all these players. We got, you guys had the whistle to whistle where you guys were just burnt up about guys that didn't get moved. Well, guys just don't get moved. I mean, this has been a really big trade deadline bonanza or whatever. And it just didn't, it lacked a lot of sizzle, like, or it had the steak, or it had the sizzle, but it didn't have the steak. You know what I mean? It's like, a lot of defensive guys moved, which was still a shock in all honesty. But they gotta stay with this trajectory. They got to move into somebody that can. Man, Sam Darnold looks amazing. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like, if you
So,
had Sam Darnold there instead.
so you're saying go the retread route. Like if you're Arizona, you just want to go the retread route, see what happens. And if it don't work out, then you can maybe draft a guy. So you're saying maybe go after a Mac Jones, somebody like that for the Cardinals. And I can agree with that. I think that's what they have to do. Another thing is they got to get a running game. And we talked about James Conner. Look, it was a nice story. I just knew this was going to happen at some point. It's unfortunate, but man, oh man, when he went down, it just really threw this offense for a tailspin because they want to run the ball and they can't, right? Like they just can't do it. And they need some help at the running back position for sure. Hopefully they can get
And
a guy.
they need a tough guy, not just a speed guy. And I think that's what worries me about Benson. He doesn't seem to be a tough guy. He seems to be a speed guy. And I think that that's what they, whatever, the culture in my name really, there's a couple big things that you really do: build up your offensive line, build up your defensive line, run the ball effectively. Because if you do those three things, in all honesty, everything else kind of falls into place. Because if you can run the ball effectively, you can kind of control the clock,
Yep.
so on and so forth. And you can pass off the run. A lot of teams, Peyton Manning that's why every successful Peyton Manning story has like Edgerrin James, Marshall Faulk. You know what I mean? They were there. That was what helped them out. And their offensive line was all pros for years. And it's, winning the
Any
big
offense.
game was kind of tough, but yeah.
Any offense for any quarterback. You can run it. It makes it easier. Play action opens up things downfield. But yeah, they need a running game. And I agree with you. Trey Benson ain't it. Hopefully people traded him out there, right? When he got and I said it as soon as he got that juice of getting named the starter after James Conner went down, like that was your time. That was your time to move him. Hopefully a lot of people did because it hasn't been pretty. And I'm like you, I don't believe in him long term either. It's just a stopgap until they get somebody different. But let's go to the next culture. Let's go to the next topic here, Big Culture. What do you have?
Okay, so week before last, I said don't bury the Jets. Okay, the Jets win again. Now, please don't hear what I'm not saying. This has happened with the Jets before even, right? They've sold a bunch of players, they've accumulated a lot of picks. The guys that they got now are the guys that they traded off, or the guys they got with those picks. So it's still going to take them doing it right. Will they? Maybe, maybe not. It's actually a new GM, which is what I always complain about with the Bears. The Bears didn't do a full reset. They just did like a 3/4 reset. Ryan Poles is terrible. At least the Jets went and got a new GM. So they trade all this capital. They do it like how Bob would do it, right? You trade guys that are still able to make some kind of hay in the league. You get heavy capital for them. You try and build up the team right. And you didn't put it all into one class, which I thought was genius. I'm like, you can't, there's no way, excuse me, I love Justin Fields, but there's no way they can go into 2027 with that laundry list of QBs that are probably going to come out in 2027 and be like, Justin Fields is our guy, and we're just going to stick with him unless he absolutely sets the world on fire next year. I don't believe that's going to happen, and I'm a Justin Fields guy. Let that be known.
Justin Fields is going to be replaced, Bob.
Eventually, for sure. Eventually, I
This
can't. I'm
year.
not stupid.
This is the last. This is it. We're going to
There's
see
not.
someone else.
There's nobody. Unless they pick another retread guy. There's number
Good.
one. There's nobody. The offensive line's not protecting anybody. TJ, you know what I mean? Like even Justin Fields with his wheels is not getting out of the way. You know what I'm saying? The offensive line's not doing anything. So you can't bring in a crusty Aaron Rodgers or Kirk Cousins or Carson Wentz or anybody. Like you couldn't bring McCorkle Jones in. He would get ate up too. There's just no time to get rid of the ball. This draft is the one they have to focus on the offensive line. And if that's the case, then you might as well just run Fields out there. You signed him to a 2-year deal. Just go ahead and let him use himself up. And then you got the 27 capital to go all in if you feel like you have to, which you might not have to. You could still be terrible because they still have their own pick. They ended up getting a first and a second this year. Like, you guys are upset about it. I don't understand why they didn't do it. They should have traded Breece Hall. They should have got a third though too. They should have tried to figure out some way to make it shift. Like, hey, okay, Kansas City, you only want to give us a fourth. Why don't you give us a third? We'll give you a fifth back. Whatever. Something to make it work because the compensatory program is going to give the Jets a third for when Breece Hall signs with anybody. That's why they held out for a third. If you don't know that game, watch the Baltimore Ravens. They do this crap every year. They got slews of compensatory picks for everything. Coaches get hired off of them, all that crap. So yes, they're doing it the way I would do it. They have to hit on the players. That'll be what's key. They don't need to go all in and just try and replace Justin Fields because Justin Fields isn't the only problem. The defense has been horrible. They actually didn't play bad today, obviously, because they won the game. But were they playing their best competition either? Not really.
It's the Cleveland Browns. If you had to name two teams, it's the Cleveland Browns. But no, I agree with you, Bob. Like I do think that Justin Fields isn't the only issue. And you're right, he is under that 2-year contract. And like the way you're laying it out, I mean, look, if you're a Jets fan, like at least you have something to hold on to, right? Like you might have to be a little patient, but you have something to hold on to. Now, I want to talk about the here and now with the Jets from a dynasty standpoint. Would you go ahead and trust some players? Now, you said that, they're not dead in the grave yet. So, like, does this give you a better feeling about Breece Hall, different people in games? Like, now they might be more startable than what you thought? Just real quick, Bob.
Well, the fact that they did what they did today gives me some hope, right? Because I mean, regardless, I mean, there's no two teams that need a better culture reset than the Cleveland Browns and the New York Jets, right? I mean, probably the two teams. Like, if you were gonna be like, "Hey, you need a culture reset," bam, 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 and that's probably the first two teams I would name off the top of my tongue, and they played well enough to beat one of the better running defenses in the league. Justin Fields only threw for 58 yards or some crap. I mean, it was a god awful day for quarterback play. He was like 9 of 11 for sub 100 yards. I looked at it, but I forgot already. So it's like, obviously they ran the ball well enough and played enough defense to stop the other abysmal team in the NFL.
Yeah. So it gives you hope. I mean, it does. I mean, at least like you said,
even if it's just a little bit, right?
Yeah, didn't lay down. So I have to agree with you, Bob. If you do have Breece Hall, this is a good sign because so many people were worried about like maybe him checking out and things like that of that nature. No, I don't think that's going to happen. He wants to get paid. He wants to go to a spot where he's going to feel better about if the Jets do indeed want him to walk. And I think it's mutual, right? Maybe just want to part ways.
Exactly what I was thinking. Like you can't, if you give up on your team, other teams are going to see that and they're not going to give you the mega deal. You want to just go ahead and bust your guts out there, do the best you can, try not to get hurt, but everybody's trying not to get hurt. A lot of times that just happens. So, he's going to put as much good film out there that he can on this trash team. And I tell you right now, that would be on my resume. Look what I did on this hot garbage team.
Right. Show your other possible employers out there what kind of quality work you did. I have to agree. Yeah. So if you have Breece Hall, don't panic. It's going to get, still be okay. He's going to give it all he's got. He has to. and it's beneficial for him, and it'll be beneficial for us. As you said, Bob, very tough rushing defense today, and he did a good number on him. So really surprising in a way. Now we have Will G asking here, turn Josh Allen 2 firsts and a second into Neighbors, Jefferson, and Jordan Love. Thoughts? So, okay, so he traded Josh Allen 2 firsts and a second into Malik Neighbors, Justin Jefferson, and Jordan Love. What do you think about that deal, Bob?
So, Will, if those are 26 picks, I don't mind it. I would still prefer to keep Josh Allen, but I can understand exactly what you did here. So, um, you know, it seems like you may have overpaid a little bit, but not terribly. And it's a deal I could see myself making for 26 capital because like I said, I'm basically throwing it away because I don't trust anything in this draft. And you're going to, if Neighbors comes back healthy, which he hasn't had a surgery yet, I don't think, which is scary as crap. I don't understand why these guys just don't get it immediately. Jefferson with McCarthy, I think that's why Jefferson's become available, right? People are willing to part with Jefferson because they're afraid of McCarthy, maybe justifiably so. And Jordan, it's like the only consistent player here is Josh Allen, and he absolutely threw up today. So I don't remember. I seen it. He had like 300. He had some yards, but it wasn't very. He didn't do much with the passing game. So whatever. So it's like, yeah, I can't blame you. I hope whatever other quarterback you have besides Jordan Love is just a little bit more consistent, even if it's just a consistent like 17, 18 points, because I just like having consistent instead of yo-yo. But right now, Josh Allen's kind of showing that he's blow up, but his floor is just so much higher than most other QBs.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm like you, Bob. If that was 26 capital, that was a really good deal for sure. I mean, I just like you. I just want to kind of get rid of that. No problem. Like, I mean, you're definitely taking a hit at the quarterback spot, downgrading from Allen to Love. I mean, it ain't like you're falling off the face of the earth or anything like that. But getting them 2 receivers, I mean, we know that they can play. We'll see what happens with Neighbors in his surgery. Hopefully that works out. And Justin Jefferson's still Justin Jefferson. We'll see how it goes. But I don't mind that deal either. So he has Dart and Sam Darnold. So, I mean, yeah, I mean, at least you have 3 guys there. That's really, now you have 3 guys, Will. So that's a solid move. I have no problem with that. Like Bob said, could get a little bit pricey, but to get those 2 type of receivers, you have to give up something to get something. So don't have an issue with it. But Bob, topic number 4 tonight. What do you have for us?
So my wife told me I should do something special because I'm going to try and talk positive. So I'm like, well, what I do is I rip my shirt off and I go all Superman logo. Da, 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 da. This bottom part's not going to rip, so I'm not going to have this shirt back. I had 2 of these Cub shirts, but so yeah. So look, I gotta be a little positive because I'm getting heat that I'm too negative, and apparently I'm a miserable human being because of it. But I also want to say I'm 49 years old, man. I've lived through crap that a lot of people haven't. So, but positive, the Colts, man, are you serious right now? Like, I really thought that when they lost to Pittsburgh, it was really going to be telling. And I think Pittsburgh just got their heads out of their ass against the Colts and did what they needed to do. Now, they played Atlanta today, and Atlanta's supposedly like on this huge upswing with Kyle Penix and this pass rush. Yeah, Kyle Pitts and Penix. Like, I'm just putting them together now because they're both crap in my brain. So it's like they played how they need to play. I wish every NFL team would be like, how's this team that got a guy, this is journeyman QB all of a sudden, how are they turning around? Oh my God, they're giving it to the best player on their team as many times as humanly possible, as much as he can take, and he's running for like 280 something yards or whatever. It was ungodly. I think I seen 280 something combined yards, maybe. Yeah, total yards, 286 total yards. Like, seriously, that's how you win in the NFL. You run the ball. You got to slow the defense gets on its heels because of it just is what it is, man. And like, I'm excited for Indiana Jones. the way that we knew you can telltale signs that Indiana Jones is going to be their quarterback of the future is pretty easy right now, right? It's you traded 2 first away for Sauce Gardner. Like you don't have enough capital unless they're like, okay, look, we're gonna play you out the rest of the year. If this keeps up, we're gonna sign you to a mega deal. Blah blah blah. 4 years, 3 years, whatever, whatever the figure is, whatever. If you don't, we'll just go get McCorkle Jones and see what happens there. Because they could very well do that. And I mean, in all honesty, this will sound ridiculous, but I think they could be all right with Fields because even with Fields, all he's got to do is put it in freaking Taylor's gut half the time. It's not going to be as successful. You're absolutely right, TJ. I maybe went a little far. I might have went a little far, but like seriously, it's working out because they have a plan.
Right. And that's what you talk about a lot. And you are absolutely right about Jonathan Taylor. What a player. You were able to buy him cheaply. And, you look at some of these guys. We talked about this with running backs. So Jonathan Taylor, James Cook, like undervalued. Like, I mean, look, I love Bijan Robinson. I love Jahmyr Gibbs. I mean, you can't deny the flashes there, right? The dynasty flash. And then Jenny was put up there in the offseason as well, not by a lot of us. We said he wasn't generational. We know Slim liked him, but we know Big Culture really wasn't in on it. And I said, look, I like him. I think he's a solid player, but I don't think he's that good. But you look at Jonathan Taylor, you could have got him so inexpensively. I mean, compared to what he's given you right now. So, Bob, I'm going to ask you, like, I know every running back, and this is a position, you want to talk about a yo-yo. This is a position that can be a yo-yo, right? But do you think slam dunk in your eyes right now, given the age, everything you see, do you think he's a slam dunk top 3 dynasty running back, or do you think he's still on the outskirts of that?
He's in my top 3 running backs. I mean, like it's going to be Gibbs, Bijan, Taylor. You know what I mean? Like I don't. And I mean, Taylor could sneak above Bijan because, like, I don't know what it is. Bijan is otherworldly talented, beyond the shadow of a doubt. Every place I got him, I'm tickled pink that he's on my team. But man, he just gets washed out of games. And even when it's like, even when it's still a decent game, it's nothing like what Taylor's doing right now. Taylor's good games are really good, and his great games are really, I mean, like, I don't know any better. They're astronomically good. Like, whatever, like, you pick the adjective, like, seriously, it's ridiculous what they're doing when he's on. Forget about it.
Amazingly good. Amazingly good. I mean, it is. And let me just say this, real quickly. I agree with you what the Colts did. I love what they did. And you look at it, right? Like, they're very intelligent in the fact that this division's terrible and they know it's not good. They could compete in this division now for the next 3 to 5 years very easily, maybe be that top team, with Daniel Jones if something happens, right? Like you said, maybe they can pivot. So, they definitely have a good confidence and swagger in what they have. And you got to give them credit because, like you said, Bob, they do have a plan. Jonathan Taylor, Michael Pittman, we talked about Denver, like, kind of being spooky to me, like, as far as acquiring assets. Like, I want some of these Colts players, Tyler Warren, Michael Pittman, Jonathan Taylor. And you know how I feel about Michael Pittman. I talk about it all the time. So, I mean,
I was going to say, I needed to say something about Tyler Warren and I didn't, because that dude he's sex on toast, TJ. And it's not, you know what? I can imagine. I'm just sitting here thinking that this Goldilocks of a tight end, he's all throwing it up over there, and he's looking over at Kyle Pitts, and he's like, "Yeah, you may be taller, but you play like an ant. Like you are, like you're god awful. Like, what do you do?" Like, I'm like, that was not a good catch because he didn't make the catch. That one, it was like Penix actually like lasered it, put it in the right spot, bobbles off of Pitts' hands. I'm like, oh, there goes Kyle Pitts. And it's like,
Slim got an eyeful today. Slim got an eyeful. But I love what you said about the Colts, Bob. And look, you got to give them credit because they didn't fold their tent. They didn't falter. They bounced back. And Jonathan Taylor is that guy, no doubt about it. He's going to be a league winner this year if he's healthy, 100%. So we have Pareko asking, trade Bucky and Olave for CD and Kamara. I have Rashad White too, by the way, redraft. Okay, so trade Bucky and Chris Olave for CD and Alvin Kamara, and he has Rashad White. So would you trade Bucky Irvin and Chris Olave for CD Lamb and Alvin Kamara in a redraft league, Bob?
I don't think I would.
No, I don't think I
I I
would either.
I think Olave's doing enough, and I d Kamara is almost a 0 every week. Like, I don't
Yeah.
know what he did today, but it can't be real good,
Yeah, we'll
right?
have to talk to Ty about the veteran running back clubhouse. 14 today from Kamara. So
Exciting.
yeah, there was a sighting. So, but yeah, you're right, Bob. I haven't loved what I've seen. I mean, maybe Shuck unlocks that a little bit. We'll see. Just give him these little dump downs. But I mean, man, oh man, with Dallas, I love CD Lamb for a dynasty asset, right? But long
Yeah.
term, I mean, that makes sense. But short term, this ball's going everywhere. George Pickens, Jake Ferguson, CD Lamb, Javante's scooping up touchdowns when they get inside the 5. So yeah, I think I'm going to hold the Bucky Olave side there, Pareko. But definitely an intriguing trade. We're glad you shared it with us. So Bob, you talked about the Colts. Now let's get into the last topic you have here for the culture shock tonight.
Well, I wanted to combine it up a little bit, maybe give Slim a little bit of love, but not necessarily a whole lot because it's like a double-edged sword here, right? The Seahawks and the Patriots both. These are teams that I want pieces of. Like, I legitimately did not think the Seahawks would be this good. I thought their defense was going to struggle a little bit. I thought their offensive line was a little weak. But my gosh, Sam Darnold has absolutely unlocked this team. And even though they didn't have a great offensive game today, the defense did what they needed to do. And if the defense didn't win, I mean, they still would have won the game, right? But that's like, and I mean, of course, they're playing the Cardinals, who I already talked about being, not necessarily having the appropriate plan, or maybe they got the right plan, they just don't have the right player yet. So for sure. So the Seahawks are doing it with defense, and so are the Patriots. The Patriots are doing it with defense, and then they unleashed a little old Travion Henderson today. And that was exciting for all of us guys that have him. We talked yesterday. I think there was one question or whatever where somebody asked twice, would you start blah, 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 or Travion Henderson? I said Travion Henderson both times. I hope that you're still a follower because that was money. So yes, it was a good opening show for the guy. And they both have QBs that we believe will at least be there 3 to 4 years. Sam Darnold could turn back into a pumpkin, but the way this is clicking right now, I don't think so. He may be an MVP. Actually, both of them, NFC and AFC, they could both be MVP candidates. Drake May is playing pretty dang well, and it's like, again, it's like, I liked him in the draft process. I really kind of like Sam Darnold too in the draft process, but that's been years ago now. So it's like, but yeah, it's like they're putting the team together. It's a team. That's what good cultures do. It's a team effort. We don't have superstar player that's making half the money for the whole team and we can't build anything around him. Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase. Like we got it. We actually got a defense. You know what I mean? Because that's what we've invested in. That's how we've done things the right way. And then, the Patriots are the same way. The Patriots did it the whole time with Tom Brady. I remember there was a show back in the day, Locked On, and it's still around, but it's different hosts, but it's Locked On NFL. And I typed into like asking the question, click, 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 click. I was like, why doesn't it's a copycat league. We'll always say it's a copycat. NFL is a copycat league. When you see something be successful, generally somebody tries to copy it. How is it that Tom Brady always took less quarterback money to have a good team and no one else can get anybody to copy that? Is it just people are younger and they're greedier? Or is it because because the salary cap keeps going up, we got to pay these guys astronomical amounts of money? I can't imagine how much better Patrick Mahomes would be if they had a solid offensive line and 2 decent wide receivers instead of just one. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, definitely have to agree with you. And I love you giving Seattle and New England a shout out. We've been talking about New England all off season long now. The launch happened a little sooner than what we expected or what we thought, right? But Drake May is the guy. So to me, he's a top 3 dynasty quarterback, hands down. I know we talked about this with Dynasty Dog Mike, but I'm going to ask you a couple dynasty questions, Bob. Not a long answer, just kind of yes or no. Give me just your gist of it. So you Travion Henderson, it's been so lukewarm, hot and cold, hit or miss, more miss than hit. A lot of people getting really afraid, maybe wanting to sell him off cheaply, or if you're in a startup draft, you looking to pick him up maybe, later in the rounds and maybe trade for him. He's a young guy. If you needed a running back, you believe that much buying low on Travion Henderson?
Yes.
Okay. Well, there you go.
You said yes or no.
There you go. So Bob gave us yes, and that was a good answer because I agree with you on that. And the other thing I want to ask you about Seattle is, well, first of all, you said you want pieces in Seattle, and I agree. I want pieces in Seattle, except for the running game. I don't want Kenneth Walker III, and I don't want Zach Charbonnet.
Right.
But other than that, I'm with you. Give me the receivers. Sam Darnold's been solid. I do think Elijah Arroyo is sneaky, buy low type athletic tight end that maybe could make some noise in a year or two. So I'm kind of with you on that with the Seattle Seahawks. But going into JSN, because this guy, it's just every week it's a big touchdown. Where do you have him in your dynasty rankings right now, Bob? Because we were kind of talking about this. Is he in that top 3? Is he in the top 4? I mean, where do you have him at? If you just had to, off the cusp, off the top of your head, where are you putting him at?
2? I'm just trying to think.
I don't hate it.
I'm trying to think like Jamar Chase is like
one.
He's got to be 1, right? Because we've seen it, and even with Joe Flacco, and not god awful with Jake Browning, but not great. And then JSN, man, he's a target vacuum. You know what I mean? And it's not just not like as many. It's like he doesn't miss many catches either. It's like he just sucks it up, and he's clearly the straw that stirs the drink. And I'm like, I like Jefferson, but McCarthy is becoming a question mark even more. Like I'm still kind of in, but I'm still kind of like I'm going to question it. It's like I think Kevin O'Connell wants to establish the run, and that's going to be the key to success. But Jefferson's still really good. Obviously, with Neighbors hurt, I really like Ibuka. I think he might be in my top 5 by the end of this year. CeeDee Lamb, I kind of breeze past him, but who knows, right?
Amon-Ra St. Brown's in there too.
Yes, and Amon-Ra. So we're like the top tier's expanding, right? And it's mainly because of JSN and Emeka Ibuka. So
let me ask you, Bob, straight up though. I mean, right now, like to me, I would trade any receiver not named Jamar Chase for him almost, right? Like I think I'm there. Amon-Ra St. Brown be very close to me just because he's so reliable all the time. And you're going to get 16 to 20 points out of Amon-Ra St. Brown every week. But like you said, Malik Neighbors with the injury. I mean, look, I just see it every week. He's a dominator. I love that in a wide receiver. Like you said, he stirs the drink for Seattle. He dominates the game. And I love that. And I just think he's that good. And we talked about it. Like every year there's question marks. Oh, how will we do this year? How will we do once this happened? And man, he just gets better every season. So I love me some JSN. I'm like you, Bob. He's got to be 2 or 3. He's got to be by the end of the year. Like if you don't have him there, you're only kidding yourself. I really believe that.
Yeah, I mean, this is a game where they really didn't need to score that much because of the 2 defensive touchdowns, and he's still 5 for 6 with 93 yards and a score. Like they could have just, handed the ball off, played that little game. And, obviously we talked about the running game being terrible. I mean, and it's not necessarily the running game being terrible. It's just the 2 players aren't super successful at it.
And they don't fit there. They don't fit with Seattle. Like it ain't working. They need to get a running back that will fit them.
Yeah, but what kind of running back is that, TJ? Is it the hammer up the middle? Could Tyler Algier be a what was the guy that went from the Chargers? Turner. Could he be a Michael Turner?
He definitely has. Yeah, I mean, look, I like Tyler Algier's tape coming out. Like, I think he has potential if someone would give him an opportunity, right? I look at like Rico Dwaddle. Like Rico Dwaddle, I think would be perfect for the Seattle Seahawks, right? Somebody like that maybe get someone on that end, maybe draft somebody. I don't know. I think they're more of, up the middle type of a running team, but I don't think they need a guy. Like, they need a dominant force. Now, there ain't Jonathan Taylors that grow on trees everywhere, but if they could get a guy that could be a dominator like that, this offense would be amazing, right? Like, they need a player that can be a 3-down bell cow back, and they're hard to find. But if they could get one, man,
Marshawn Lynch. Oh, that's too late.
There you go. But we got one more question here before we close out the show. Bryce says, is Bijan a trade-away player now? Absolutely not, Bryce. He's not a trade-away player, whether it's redraft or dynasty. I know it sucks. Tyler Algier had those touchdowns today. It makes you sick when you see that. But you look at Bijan's schedule coming up, it's going to be pretty easy. And, two, he's running back 4 on the year. I mean, look, I know it can be a little hit or miss at times, but man, oh man, when it's hit, it's really nice because, like I said, he has had running back 1, running back 5, running back 7, and I blame it more on the Falcons than on Bijan Robinson. But I think Bob agrees with me. He's not a trade-away player, right, Bob?
Yeah, the only way I'm trading away Bijan Robinson is if I'm getting a top 5 wide receiver, for in dynasty. So,
Yeah.
You look at it like that. I mean, I can't really see trading him away for Gibbs because that seems just lateral. I can't see trading him away for Taylor because of the age, and Taylor's, as much as we like Taylor, he's coming into a rougher part of the schedule. He's going to have to be better or good. Really, he's going to have to keep being the amazing Taylor that he's been. So I can't see trading him, running back for running back. We talk about that often on a lot of our shows, and TJ's just doing it to kind of understand where we place him in the running back hierarchy. But I don't much care for ever doing a running back for running back trade unless it's I'm trading a running back, I'm getting a really great pick, and I'm getting a running back to kind of just have as a filler.
Tear down type of player. Yeah.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, 100%. So, what a great episode here for the Culture Shock. Bob, appreciate you joining us as always. Donate your time. I know the DNA Strand crew appreciates it. Look, guys, it's been awesome. What a great weekend. So many new subscribers on YouTube. You guys are the best. Can't thank you enough. We hit the 270 plateau there. I think we picked up about 30 people. I said it was amazing. Everyone's been working their tail off, and you guys have been great. If you are enjoying the content, go over and listen on Spotify, Apple Pod, Stitcher, Amazon, all the big podcasting platforms. If you haven't yet, please follow and 5-star the show. You can check out all the shows. We put out 4 or 5 of them a week. You won't be disappointed. We'd love to have you. Follow us on Twitter at DynastyDNA_. And if you are watching on YouTube, please like and subscribe. We greatly appreciate that. Bob, I'll let you put in your final thoughts.
So one more thing, Little Lou, I hope I was a little more positive for you this week, that you won't be upset with me and think I'm totally miserable, even though TJ backed me up, and I'm not miserable. I'm just a curmudgeon.
He's a Dynasty Grinch. We love that. We love that about him, and we appreciate Little Lou listening, and we love having him being on the network with us and leaving those comments. And you know what? We like to get those. That really helps. So, guys, if you want to comment, hey, you can say to me, like, TJ's stupid. Say it. I love it. We love the comments, and we do appreciate that. But, guys, have a great rest of your weekend. Hope you guys win all your Week 10 matchups. I know I speak for Bob and everyone here at the DNA Network when we say have a great night, and we'll see you next time on the Culture Shock.
Bye.